Yo, 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 Blue Jays fans, welcome to Jay's Latest. Craig Borden here coming with you, and I hope you have the right therapist, the right depression meds, whatever it might be, or maybe it's just that perfect song on your playlist. But right now, it is a rough time for the Toronto Blue Jays. So let's just dive into it because last night they at least tried a little bit better, and some key things at least contributed to the loss. But the game was a lot closer than the craziness of watching Miguel Vargas and Tyler Heineman pitch from Monday. So, unfortunately, the Dodgers do hand the Toronto Blue Jays their sixth loss. Yeah, I wanted to say five, but it is unfortunately their sixth consecutive loss as they fall to a 4-7 record. The Blue Jays are just not finding those ways to come through, and more errors. Balk. I don't agree with the balk. Um, all these kind of things. But to the end of the day, the World Series champs were improved to 9-2 against the Blue Jays yesterday, and we got to see what their bullpen now looks like with Edwin Diaz last night. So, ugh, creepy, crazy. Look. So, let's just keep moving on this one because Kevin Gossman was on fire for the majority of this game. A 5.1 innings, picks up the loss unfortunately on 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, the balk that I mentioned, which was certain levels of giant monsters of BS, but 5 strikeouts for Gossman. So he pitched well enough to win this game. It is that simple. And the Blue Jays just could not, once again, and this is Gossman's Blue Jay tenure in a nutshell, not getting the run support to be able to walk away with a win. And the Blue Jays went 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position yesterday as this nightmare continues. There was even a point where the Blue Jays had the bases loaded and could not bring a run around. Just unfathomable levels of crazy. It is early. Yes, I get it. But a lot of these players went to the World Baseball Classic. Are they dinged up already? Ugh, it's just what's going on. 6 hits were not quite enough to muster it against the Dodgers yesterday, and then of course running into the person that had 3 wins against them in the World Series, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yamamoto just continued to mow through Blue Jays hitters. The Blue Jays have zero answers for Yamamoto, and it's just crazy. Yamamoto had 6 innings, allowed just the 1 run, and they finally started to break through to him in the last inning that he was on the mound. And like I said, they just couldn't capitalize on it. 6 strikeouts for him over 6 innings, allows the 5 hits with the 1 earned run to George Springer being the one driving in the lone run for the Toronto Blue Jays in a 4-1 loss. It was a nice hit by Springer. So if we get him going, get Vladdy hitting the ball a little bit harder with some runners on position scoring. He's been 237, but there is nobody outside Ernie Clement that has been consistent, and Andres Jimenez. So crazy. I was very happy to see Brad Valenzuela catching in this game. I do think that is where it needs to go, and we obviously saw that with veteran Kevin Gossman on the hill. That is not making a difference. So it helped, or a bad difference is what I meant. So keep that moving in the right direction. But Heineman's just not an everyday catcher. And I think there's a chance that at least Brandon Valenzuela has some upside at the dish, too. We saw it all spring. But just rough. So moving right along, because obviously we're going to play the Dodgers again, but we did get some other bad news yesterday. Cody Ponce is going to be officially done for the season. He is going to have ACL surgery. So that knee work is going to take him 6 months, more likely, is what usual time to recover is. It's not going to allow him to come back and pitch this year. So the Blue Jays are going to be looking for somebody to take that spot in the rotation. Trey Savage is supposed to be pitching on Thursday. And yes. And then there's that thing that happened in Major League Baseball yesterday. Still wild. That had guys literally exchanging blows. And then, of course, Kirky's going to be out for about 6 weeks fixing his hand. He did have some surgery on the hand to ensure that it gets back in place and repairs properly from the fracture he suffered. Good news. Good news. I actually have some. It's weird. So On this note, the Blue Jays obviously have been looking for depth in their minor league system, but I think they found one that might potentially have some upside even soon, depending on how the adjustment goes from being a Japanese baseball player and moving over here. I was unable to find any numbers on this young gentleman, but the Blue Jays signed a 23-year-old right-handed pitcher from the Japanese Baseball League. His name is Tomoya Kinjo, and Kinjo is a 23-year-old, 97 mile per hour pitching prospect. Has also apparently a very solid curveball, changeup, and sinker. So he's got some great complementary stuff, which at the age of 23 always is not the problem, or not a great usual normal thing. The mix could be very beneficial, and we'll see how fast he turns things around in the minor league system for the Blue Jays. But he will be joining the Blue Jays minor league system, probably starting out in Dunedin and working his way through. But like I said, for an international signee, he's on the older side, which comes with some experience, and he seems like he's very excited. So we're going to see where that goes. But to that point, Ginjo could be a random arm in this mix eventually, depending on how things go. Worst case scenario, he's a high-end prospect for the next few years, and the Blue Jays work him into the rotation, because it sounds like he has some solid stuff. But with the Blue Jays having the pitching depth problems, it is definitely not hurting throwing a higher upside older person in your minor league system to potentially move up quickly. We'll see what that does, but here we go. So tonight we have an arms race, literally. You talk about what the Blue Jays and the Dodgers are going to do to play game 3 out here. We have Dylan Cease versus Shohei Ohtani. Just, if you were going to write up pitching matchups for the third game of this series, this is the one that you want to watch and circle on your calendar. So Shohei obviously is the best athlete that I can even name in any sport. The 31-year-old right-handed pitcher and slugger you never hear about. Had a great outing in his first start, 6 innings of work, 6 strikeouts, and yeah, just allowed the 1 hit. Yeah, you heard me. So after Yamamoto, things are not getting any easier tonight. The biggest piece to that whole thing is just like yesterday with Gausman, we do have an ace on the mound. Dylan Cease has been as advertised. Did he have a little bit of struggle the other day against the Chicago White Sox? Sure he did. But it was still an opportunity at the time the Blue Jays could have won that game. In his last outing, 4 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. And as you are aware, that was also his first outing, 5 innings against the Athletics, 12 strikeouts, which is a Toronto Blue Jay record for a debut of a Blue Jays pitcher. So Cease, excuse me, could be very fun to watch against Shohei Ohtani tonight. I highly recommend tuning in. We are going to be live for the Jaybird Watching podcast during the game tonight. So make sure you check out the jaybirdwatching.com and check out where those links are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, blah, 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 blah. Here, there, everywhere. So if you want to join us, hit us up in the chat and we can talk during the game. Or if you just need a therapy couch, we'll be going like, come on, right over here. Vent, please. Tell me what's on your mind. So, but yep, it is what it is, Blue Jays fans. But like I said, the Blue Jays have not literally done any hitting at all this year. If they need to get back into it like they're going to, I do believe the hits are going to come. This is the same problem we had last year, and hopefully the window of that opportunity is shorter this year. But remember, we were kind of going, a la the water boy to start last year. Oh no, we suck again. And I know that's the vibe in the Blue Jays fandom right now, but keep the faith. There's good talent on this team. We're really dinged up. People have been sick. This thing, that thing. The reinforcements are coming. So hopefully that does do something for us. So on that note, Blue Jays fans, hope you have a great day. And as always, let's go Blue Jays.